Hello everybody, my name is VSDA100 and welcome to another vlog. I haven't decided what the name of this vlog is going to be, but it's basically E3 coverage. I just finished watching the Bethesda E3 press conference and I was very impressed. I'm covering about one of three games in this particular video. There are other games, but I am going to leave them out because of A, I'm not really interested in them, and purposefully this video would just be, I believe, a bit too long, you know, pushing 40 minutes, or I would assume, depending on what I have to say on it. But again, I haven't got opinions on every game, but picking up the first one was Doom. Bethesda showed off Doom. Now, I said this in my E3 video before, that it was going to be at E3, and I kind of put it into the backdrop of my mind. I didn't really, know what to expect, didn't really, didn't give it too much thought. I wasn't very hyped for it, but having seen it, it looks fantastic. It looks great. It is one of the games that I purposely want to pick up. I believe I will be picking that up. You'll find yourself, the story starts out, or at least what they give you. They didn't want to give away the story, of course. But the outskirts of Mars, or a research facility, on Mars, and you will be sent to kill demons. You've been assigned to go and kill demons. Pretty much standard procedure. The shotgun returns, looking pretty badass. Powerful weapon. I always love the shotgun in any game you put me in. I always love the shotgun. Yes, people call me a scrub for it. I don't care. It's one of my must-have guns. It's just one of my favorites of all time. There's a shitload of guns on variety. In Doom, you saw a pulse gun, plasma gun, or what have you. Varied types of shotguns, including double barrel shotgun, which is great. You saw a bunch of enemies, varied enemies that look very good and detailed and powerful. They weren't, you could, blast the shit out of them with whatever gun you have. But they look solid. The graphics was fantastic. The environments were quite good. Beautiful, well done. The colouring of the guns, I felt, was a little bit off. I felt that maybe it's just in this demo we saw at E3 that the guns were all greenish. I didn't really like the look of that. I think the colour of the guns had to be a little bit varied. I mean, they looked a bit bland, at least on the demo. That was my intake of them. Gameplay is fast-paced, action. You can melee the fuck out of a demon. It looked pretty cool. You punching its head off, breaking its neck, and what have you. Lots of blood and gore. Going back to the weapons for a point, the chainsaw seems to have made a reappearance, which is a good thing. Everyone seems to have loved that. Showing you cutting down the demon, cutting it in half. Again, blood and gore everywhere. It didn't seem to be much of, at least in the demo, a horror element of it. But I don't really care one way or the other. I like fast-paced action to the point. It almost looked like another version of Dead Space to a point, which is quite funny because if Dead Space 4 comes out, what are they going to do to up the ante in this? It could be competing with that genre. It's good to see Doom back, of course. And on the next gen consoles, I played the last one and I was very impressed with it back then. So fuck knows how much better it's gonna get, throughout. Well, I've seen how much better it's gonna get. It's fucking awesome. So I think it's definitely a game worth picking up. I'm just looking at my sheet here. You're able to jump as well, jump around. Again, another varied gameplay. Hop to platforms and what have you. Making you move quicker. It's not just slow-paced, stuff. There's blood and gore elements with it. Multiplayer is included as well in this game, which I often think I'm a little bit suspicious of when multiplayer is involved because it's almost like a cash-in, and some games like Uncharted, etc., don't really need it. If it goes well and they can do it well, then by all means, go for it. You also got this thing called Snap Map, where fans and players of multiplayer and everything can create their own maps and share them with the community, which is a good thing. I think it's, again, if it's pulled off right, then it will be a success. I personally won't be that interested in the multiplayer. It's not a game I'll purposely pick up for multiplayer, just a story, but I'll give it a go anyway. But yeah, Doom is looking fucking awesome, and I'm glad to see it's back on the market, back in, bring in brand new fans, and it will be on Xbox and PS4, so it's not an exclusive, which, you know, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, many people play it as possible. It can only be a good thing. Moving on to another game, Dishonored 2. I didn't really play the first Dishonored. It's funny because I have it. I got it on the PlayStation Plus for free, and it's okay, but I didn't really take to it too much. I don't really care for it. So Dishonored 2 was leaked a day before E3, and then they've officially announced it, obviously, at their press conference. The graphics are absolutely stunning. The backdrop's really, really good. They've got their own art style, specifically. You can play as male or female in this world. They each have their own stories, I believe, or just varied. I believe that's the way they're going to be doing it with this particular game. There's a bunch of weapons, of course, and gadgets. You know, you can play the game without killing anybody or going through it murdering everybody, I suppose, you know. So there's two ways of playing it, I suppose. But playing the whole game without killing anyone, you know it's going to be some kind of fucking trophy. I mean, wow, I can't be asked to do that. Again, it's not really a game I'm really over the top interested in. I know a lot of people are, they're fans of the first. I didn't really, you know, take to the first one. They've also announced Dishonored HD remake. Well, say definitive edition, which again is like a cash in to me. I don't really care for those, but you know, if you ain't played the first one and you want to pick it up on the PS4, by all means. What else we got here? Basically, the story, from what I know, is another king sits on the throne of this world, and or this universe rather, and it's your job to change the fate of the empire, as it were. Again, I wasn't really interested in it. But, you know, they've got their own art style, the graphics are great, gameplay's going to be solid, but again, for me personally, the story, nah, I'm not really interested. Next up, we have Fallout 4. Now, there's a lot to say about this game. Of course, we've heard things about it here and there, and, you know, but it went into much greater detail, obviously, at this press conference. Okay, the story starts before the bombs drop, which is great. It comes back to the very, very beginning. It gives everyone a fresh push. It has been years since the original one came out, though I did say in my other video you can buy the Xbox 360 version, PS3 I believe, Game of the Year edition for £7 or £8, especially on PC as well. It's cheap as hell. So before it comes out, you can catch up on that. You've got a good while before Fallout 4 comes out. Having said that, I'll get to the release date in a minute. You get to play as your as a character model. It starts off staring in the mirror, and you can pick the beard, the hair, you know, and everything. It's really, really cool, and you can, you know, well, it's standard realistically, but then you can also be male or female in this game, which again is sort of in the right direction for me. Again, it's, you know, more and more girls play games these days. It's great that they cater to them as well. See it with Call of Duty. We see it with a few of their other games. Again, in Dishonored, they've got a female protagonist, as it were. So yeah, that's really, really great. And also, they generate a baby based on whatever character that you make. So you're black, you're white, you know, whatever. You can make a baby, and they generate what the baby looks like off of the characters you create. Which again, I think's brilliant, you know, just the next gen kind of step. It's really, really cool. Now it's quite funny because you get the now you start off with a town structure or whatever, and you can build your town, which will it's really, really great what they've done, because you can tear down everything. You grab elements around you, and you can start building shelters. You know, like tree houses and various things like that. You have to build up your defenses as well, so your community don't get raided by raiders. And the more you build, the more people want to come and live in your particular, you know, little shanty town, as it were. Or community traders come, and the better you build, the best traders come. The greater stuff you're going to be able to get and collect. To build up, you know, generators to power things, lights, etc., etc., which is a cool element of gameplay, because everybody likes to, build their own structures. It was a big thing in their previous game that they seem to have, tack on to, like, hey, people love this, let's implement it in the new game. There are a lot of guns. There's 50 based weapons in the game, which is a hell of a lot of guns. But the most interesting part is there are over 700. No, hold on, if I got that right. Yeah, 700 mods to these guns, so you can mod them any way you want. And come up with all kinds of different crazy weapons, which is going to be phenomenal. You won't be able to see them all, I'm sure, you know what I mean, unless you spend extensive time on that. You'll be able to create scopes and stuff like that through elements throughout the world, so everything has a purpose in the game, which is fantastic. And again, another advantage of next gen, where everything actually matters, and you'll be able to, create your own varied things, some scopes and everything else like that. From what I understand, you are dropped into a vault at the beginning, etc. They didn't want to give away too much of the story, and events transpire, as it were. Probably you have a problem with the head of the vault or something, and I don't know, it goes on to 200 years later. So you get into a cryogenic sleep, I suppose, and you awaken 200 years later, where you are the sole survivor of your vault, I believe. Also, as I said, it grows. Your community grows. You can do even cool things like grow food as well. Which in itself is fantastic. The Pip-Boy returns as well. You have to use that to, it's your main menu again. Type in your name, etc., etc. We're now coming up to a few more details about this because. Well, yeah, it's nearly a 12-minute video. A few more details about this is you can, with the pre-order edition, the special edition, you can get the Fallout Pip-Boy edition, where you will actually get an actual real life-size model of the Pip-Boy to put on your arm, and it interacts with the game as a second screen. I don't know how much that's going to be. It looks fucking great. For and it links with your phone. You can put your phone in it, etc. They've also got an app for it as well, which is another good thing. They've also got another little mini game coming out, which is already launched now on your phone. You can download it now for free. Fallout Shelter, which is like a mini game of that, where you build a community, keeping them happy, etc. Which again is on their part is very well done. To have implemented that and release it straight away, which is again is a good thing. Speaking about being released as well of this fantastic game, which by the way, I will say the graphics did look good on the demo. They always look good at E3 demos, and they drive guys to a point. But I got to say that I'm very, very impressed. It's only the first show of E3, and Bethesda has done really, really well. The enemies in Fallout 4 is looking absolutely great as well, like just genetically and modified and creatures throughout the world, where environmental fallout and all the rest of it has created these monsters. They're all varied, and they all look hideous, and they're big and they're mean, they're tough, and they've always had good enemies in Fallout 3, the original. I enjoyed it back then, as I said, so they're only going to get better with Fallout 4 and throughout the world. You have a companion as well, the dog. We know about this, I thought it was a bit gimmicky, but whatever. He collects, certain things for you. He helps you in battle to a point, in combat rather. The combat looks pretty good, shooting, it's very satisfying. I'm just concerned how much ammo you have. Off the top of my head, I remember scrimping and scraping for ammo in the last game, which pissed me off, very grindy the last game, but I'm hoping it's a lot better in this game. I will be covering more E3 press conferences as they come and when, getting as much info as I can on certain games to review them, my initial reaction to these games. I am personally looking out for Doom. I really am interested in Doom out of all what they announced. Speaking of announcements, Fallout 4, the release date, very impressive. Normally we have lots of delays, etc. And, they say 2016, it gets delayed. This guy comes out, the director, and says it's going to be released 10th of November 2015. That's this year, obviously. So that's coming out in a few months' time, which is fantastic. We don't have to wait forever for it, from a typical E3 where, you know, like The Division and, you know, Rainbow Six, just for example, you know, getting the hell out, delayed the hell out of, you know. So we've got something to really look forward to, you know, other than all these HD boring remakes that they keep trying to hash out. But yeah, so that was the first press conference of E3. I'm very impressed. I can't wait to see the next set of you know, press conferences coming out earlier today. I believe that it's Microsoft, I think, is next. I'm not too sure on that. I should have checked actually before I did this video. But if you want to watch the Bethesda press conference, I'll put it in the description below. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the video. Follow me on Twitter at the SDA100. I will say this, I noticed in the my gamer tag being the SDA, if you break down Bethesda, it actually breaks down as the SDA, sorry, which is pretty unusual. I did notice that in the in the press conference. Anyway, so I will have more videos and reaction to various press conferences. Please look out for them. I will be posting them throughout social media. Yeah, I ain't got no much else to say after that. Join me for my next vlog. Thanks very much. Bye.